Rodney Cluff was born and raised in the American Mormon colony of Colonia Juarez in the northern part of Chihuahua, Mexico. His ancestors were some of the first colonizers of America. He traces his ancestry back to the Anglo-Saxon Vikings to the tribe of Ephraim of the House of Israel. Rodney became interested in the hollow earth theory while working on a New Mexico farm at the age of 16, where the farm manager's son told the workers about the theory. Years later, Rodney saw an advertisement for Dr. Raymond Bernard's book, The Hollow Earth, and thereby started many years of study and research that has culminated in his e-book, World Top Secret, Our Earth is Hollow, which is available on his website, which I'll tell you about in a sec. Currently, Mr. Cluff works as a computer programmer analyst and continues his research into evidences for hollow planets as a hobby. Our special guest tonight on Coast to Coast. Rodney, how are you?
Very fine.
My pleasure. Boy, I've been wanting to do this topic for years, and I'm glad you're with us tonight, and appreciate the fact, even during a holiday season, you'd spend some time with us.
Well, very glad to be with you.
The story that you were told when you were working on the farm, can you relate that to us?
Yes, when I was 16, with some colony boys, we got a job out on a New Mexico farm that was managed by my uncle's brother. And the guy that I was working with was an older fellow, also from the colonies. And one evening he told me that the farm manager's son had told him about this book that he had read, The Hollow Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And he commented to the boys that he thought it was an ideal place for the Lord to hide the lost 10 tribes. And that piqued my interest, and it just stayed in the back of my mind. And years later, when I saw this advertisement for the book, I sent for it. It was about 1974, around about there. And I started in earnest researching this subject ever since then. And I have come up with a substantial amount of scientific, scriptural, and historical evidence that supports the hollow earth theory.
And you've supplied a graphic to our webmaster, Lex, which if everyone listening has the ability to get to their computer, we're going to be making some reference to it throughout the night. So you might want to be able to get on the coasttocoastam.com website and look at it. And by the way, Rodney's website is called ourhollowearth.com, and there's a link with his name right on the coasttocoastam.com website. It'll take you straight to his website. There have been many theories about the hollow earth theory, Rodney. We'll talk about all of them tonight, whether who's living there, if anyone's living there. Perhaps they might be extraterrestrials, but primarily, here's a question for you. If the earth is hollow, don't you think we would have been told by it, it would have been spotted by satellites, or has it been, and they're just not telling us? And if they're not, why?
1981, I took my family and we flew to Fairbanks, Alaska. My object of going up there was to research the hollow earth to see if I could find any evidence. And I met an interesting person up there in Fairbanks. His name was John Gagne.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, he was a radio announcer down in Juneau, the capital of Alaska. And one weekend, he was out with his buddies outside the city, and they happened to notice a light up above a mountain there by them. And presently, it turned red and zipped off into space. And then back on his radio station, he brought up the subject and asked if anybody had seen the UFO over the weekend that him and his buddies saw. He says that shortly after that, a woman came in to talk to him. Her name was Sylvia Darvell. He said that Sylvia Darvell had been involved in Alaskan politics from way back and had been a very close friend of Admiral Byrd. And she told my friend John Gagne that Admiral Byrd, after his Arctic flight of 1947, had come to her and confided in her what he had found up there. She said that Admiral Byrd flew past the ice, came to a continent covered with lush vegetation, saw a mammoth wandering along on the terrain below. She said that he says that they were presently sighted by flying saucer type craft that took control of his airplane and landed him near an inner Earth city. He was taken in and interviewed by a government official of their country, and their concern was that we had just used nuclear weapons to blow up a couple of cities out here at the end of World War II, just the year before. And the message that they wanted him to bring back to our government was that they opposed our use of nuclear weapons. He was treated very politely. He said that they were very friendly people. He said that they were large in stature, they were very highly advanced in the sciences, and that they had monorail trains between their cities, and flying craft that we have since come to call flying saucers. He was taken back to his airplane, put back in the air, and when he arrives back out on outer Earth, he reported to Washington, and he was told to not to keep this secret, not to tell anybody about it. But this story that Sylvia Darvell told my friend John Gagne has confirmed the rumors that we've heard down through the years that Admiral Byrd actually found something up there.
And reportedly he put some of this in a diary, didn't he, Rodney?
He did. He actually wrote a book, and he had it in bookstores, and the government agents confiscated them all. His family still has his writings, but they're kept under lock and key. John Gagne told me that he met a friend of the Byrd family when he was attending Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, and that over the Christmas break he asked her if she could ask the Byrd family if he could look at some of the writings. And she came back from Christmas break and says, no, they don't let anybody read his writings, that they have it under lock and key. Probably because they don't want to lose it.
Or how would you like to get your hands on that, just to take a look at that? Wouldn't that be fascinating?
Very fascinating. It's interesting that the family of Admiral Byrd to this day believe that he discovered that our Earth is hollow.
And was he going into the North Pole for that, right?
That flight was February of 1947.
North Pole, though, not South Pole.
North Pole.
Yeah. Now, I assume Sylvia Darvell up there in Alaska is no longer alive. Is that correct?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because that would put her way up there in years. Let's talk about the possibilities. So I assume, though, what you're saying to me is if satellites are taking pictures of a hollow Earth, they're not showing them to us. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was on the email list with Jan Lomprick of South Africa a few years ago, and one of the list members came on one day and he says that his son at his high school had invited a NASA scientist to come talk to them, and after the discussion, he followed him down the hall, and he stopped him and he said, point blank, he asked him, do you guys have satellite images of the South Pole opening? And the scientist looked at him for a little bit, and then he just said, yes, but we paintbrush them out to look like ice and snow. So there was a confession by this scientist.
Now, is this hollow Earth theory, is this supposed to be a hole that goes straight from the North Pole right through the planet to the South Pole? Or is there some break in here? Because, I mean, something's got to be there's got to be, for something to be that long. I mean, it's got to be, it's huge. So I can't picture that.
The Earth is similar to a bubble or a ball. It has a shell. My estimate of the thickness of the shell is about 800 miles from the outside to the inner surface, up near the pole, thinner towards the equator, because indications are the acceleration of gravity increases towards the pole, requiring more matter. And that inside the Earth, suspended in the hollow, is a central sun that emits a solar wind out through the polar openings, causing the auroras to light up above the poles, and that near about